Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Heike and you're watching Stone Cold Coffee Crafts, and today I have another WIP Chat for you with some very old footage I took back in February. So the painting you are seeing there is Camelia's Heart. The artwork is by Sybile Art, an artist from Belgium, and it is licensed to DIYmoon shop. It is the painting I chose to be my diamond painting theme of the month painting for February, so that's how old this footage is. And I fully intended to use it in February, but I did my thing and I didn't do it. So I thought I'd pull it out again because I fully intended to film a WIP Chat working on my current project yesterday, which would have been April the 14th. And I did start. I had everything lined up and ready to go. I had the time, I had the painting, I had the energy, and then my phone rang and my mom called. And that was the next 2 hours of my life. When my mom and I are on the phone, we are huge chatterboxes, so that's very normal for us. Um, but it also meant by the time we finally hang up, it was time to cook dinner, and afterwards I was just tired, so tired, because I've been sleeping very crappily in the last few days, which again for me is pretty normal. The first thing to go when I am stressed is my ability to sleep through the night. So that's been going on for a while now. It's usually like a build up from Monday to Wednesday, and by the time Wednesday is finally here and Wednesday work is over, it's my most stressful, most taxing day of the week. I am so knackered that I can finally sleep through the night. That's what happened last night. But it also means that by the time early evening for me, that means like 8 p.m. rolls around, I'm just too tired. You can't expect me to make sense. So I didn't even try to record the WIP Chat at that point. And then I looked at my plans for today and realized I wouldn't have the time to record, render, upload if I tried to do it this afternoon. So I pulled out this old footage I still had and decided to do a voiceover. I'm pretty sure you won't mind because you are not actually watching which painting I'm working on, so we should be fine, right? That being said, I have to say I absolutely loved working on this painting. It was very enjoyable. At first I thought all the red would be overwhelming because the section you see there is very, very representative of what the upper half of the painting looked like. This is like 50 by 103 centimeters, I think the size of the painting was. It's a big one. And the upper half was pretty much all red. And the only interruptions in the red were her arm, part of her head, which was already done by that time. It's to the left, and the occasional butterfly. I think it was like two butterflies. And other than that, the whole upper half was these 3 or 4 shades of red, depending on which section you were on. And I was very much afraid it would be overwhelming to have this much red, but it actually was a very soothing, and I happen to love red, and red happens to be a color I usually don't have much of in a diamond painting. So it was very enjoyable. Also, the canvas and dural quality of this kit was exceptionally good, so that was also very much enjoyable. That's not to say that usually DIYmoon shop is not good. They are, but I felt like I had a different. I guess it's because I didn't have a lot of 939, and 939 is usually the color that makes the most issues with size differences and stuff. And yeah, since I didn't have many of them in this painting, um, it struck me as being better than usual. I guess that's the way to put it. Yeah, so I thought I would try and do a voiceover WIP Chat today, and that might be more doable than just trying to do the recording and uploading and everything in one day, because YouTube, no, it's whenever you need it to be fast, it's going to be exceptionally slow. That being said, because I pre-recorded this footage, this WIP Chat is also going to be a bit shorter than usual. You probably have already noticed it's just 51 minute long, but I think that is quite some time to fill because I am, as always, very unprepared for these things. All right, what did I actually talk about yesterday when I did start recording? I got like 10 minutes in or so. Yeah, I was talking about I don't know if you've seen it. I'm actually not very aware how in your face these community posts are from people you are subscribed to, but I did a community board post a couple of days ago asking you if you would be interested in doing more diamond painting science videos. Back in the day, it's been a while. If you've been with me for, I guess, like 1.5 years or so, I need to really check back when that was, but it was in 2019 because I switched over to all licensed paintings at the end of 19, I believe. If you were part of my channel back then, you might have seen a series of like 3 or 4 videos I did, which I titled Diamond Painting Science, and I compared the same image in the same size, just round and square beads to show the differences, because there's always this ongoing discussion. What is the difference? Does it even look different? And while I have been trying to explain to people that yes, it is very different because, and then you can talk about the different sizes of beads and what it means for the detail and yada yada yada, I thought it would be easier to just show it, and that's why I did that. The videos were a huge success. You loved them very much. Huge success for how small my channel was at that point, because it was teeny tiny. Now my channel is small, but back then it was teeny tiny. Um, but these videos were a huge success for the size of my channel overall, and I fully plan to have more installments of that. My next plan for the series was to have the same image in multiple sizes and show you the difference the right size does make. And I actually have done a painting. Um, you might remember it was the Colorful Tulips by Peter Wren. That was the painting I chose. I have that painting in, I believe, 2 more sizes now. 1 or 2. I bought the bigger size. I have the like 45 by 60 for sure. I don't know if I got the 40 by 50 because I think the one I did was like 30 by 40. Um, but I did get different sizes, and I had planned to do them all from the smallest up to the 45 by 60. I wasn't going to go any bigger because that would have driven me insane. And I had a different one from the Oli store. I did in, I believe that was 2019 for Drills and Chills. I did this coffee chalkboard painting, and I had gotten a smaller size for that one to show the difference too. So the one I did for Drills and Chills was 50 by 70-ish, and I got the next size down, which probably was a 40 by 50, because I think that's what the only sizes are. So I had that already. I just needed to do it and then film the videos and stuff, just, she said. And then, yeah. And then we all learned something that shouldn't probably have surprised us this much, but we learned that basically everything on AliExpress, maybe with the one odd exception out of 100 paintings, is stolen artwork. So I canned all these plans because I decided back then that I would no longer make any videos that show and maybe even promote stolen artwork. Yeah. So that's why you never saw any of these, even though I had these grand plans. for whatever reason, a couple of days ago, I was sitting here and I was feeling like I need to do something fun and challenging, and I want it to be something I can put on my YouTube channel. I want my diamond painting science back, and I was browsing a couple of diamond painting shops that I know have licensed artwork, and I noticed that there was um, an artist in two different shops, and both shops had the same image. Most of the time, it is more like if you find the same artist in two different shops, they have different images licensed. In this case, there were some that were the same, and I picked out one that I had on my wish list anyway. And I thought, let's get it. It is nearly the same size from both shops. So the one is like an inch smaller each side. But that's the size it comes in is like 70 by 90, so that's it's basically the same. They are both square drills, and that's where the similarities end, because then we are going into totally different directions as far as charting and materials and everything else goes. And I thought it would be fun to compare these two canvases and show you the difference between the computer charting and the hand charting. So that's why I put up this poll. So far, the answer has been pretty unanimous for yes, please do it. So I'm planning to go forward with it. Stay tuned. I haven't fully mapped it out yet how I want to do it, but basically what I have planned is to have the unboxings for both of the canvases. I think that's that's a good point to start. And then maybe, because this is going to be a long-term project, like I said, we are talking like 70 by 90 canvases, two of them, and they are not going to fit into the diamond painting theme of the month, so they have to be done on the side in very small sections probably. Um, so we are talking a long-term project. I hope to have it done by the end of the year, but we shall have to wait and see, to be honest about that. So maybe there will be some whip and chat type videos in between. That might be a good thing to do to keep you up to date on how it's going, how it's looking. And then of course there's going to be the big final review and comparison between the two, to show the differences between hand charting, computer charting, number of colors, these things. And I hope it will be enlightening. It will, of course, not forever and ever and from here on answer the question which is better, because I fully believe it depends on personal taste and type of image, which one is better. But it would still, I think, be good to see the direct comparison so you can make up your mind what your personal preference is. Um, in case you are one of the people who is wondering what does it really make a difference. So yeah, that's basically what I'm aiming for here, and also of course fun. Yeah, let's hope I'll have it. I'm at the same time excited, but also shaking my boots because two huge square dual canvases of the same image. I've never attempted that. Never thought I would. But we will get there. It will work out in the end. I'm pretty sure about that. So if you want to get into voice your opinion, there's still the poll going on. But at this point, I think the feedback clearly shows you want to see that, so I'm going to go forward with it. The one shop right now does not have the canvas in stock. It's going to be restocked, but it is not there yet. The other one has it on stock, so I am keeping my fingers crossed. And if everything goes well, I should be able to order it by the end of next week, because that's payday, and then I should be able to order it. Right now, I could, but I'm trying not to go over my budget and think, well, I'll just be better next month, because I never am. So that is the big diamond painting plan. Plan is an interesting way to pronounce plan. I came up with, probably while I was overtired. But it makes me excited, so I am going with it, because everything that excites me these days is a good thing. Excites me in the positive way, I should say. I have plenty of excitement, just not always the good kind. Yeah, so that is the diamond painting. And then I really, really, really get to move my butt and finally show you all the stitching I've done. I really want to film a floss tube, but I don't know when I will have the time for that. Um, but nevertheless, I still could finally get my pictures up on Instagram, because I have finished a lot of stitching in the month of April already, which I'm very proud of. I had a finish on April 1st, which is still a secret, and I don't know when I will be able to show it, because it's a present, a surprise present for someone who is watching my channel and my Instagram. So I have to keep it on the down low for a little bit. I have to figure out how to turn this stitch into the finish I had planned, because I have these big plans in my brain. I've had them for months, how this is supposed to look, and yeah, now I have to figure out how to do it. That's always the fun part, because my brain can come up with the most elaborate things out there, but getting there, mm, I'm quite often that's something for future brain to figure out. So that's where I'm right now. The stitching is finished. Now I have to figure out how to get it into the finish I turned into the finish I want for it. But that being said, after I had this finish on April 1st, I also worked on the Dark Queen of the Sea. I skipped part 7 of that stitch along, because I absolutely did not like how that part looked. It didn't, hey Lola, it didn't jive with me at all from the motif choices to the color choices. Um, so far, this piece has been a masterpiece. I've never seen a cross-stitched person with such a pretty face. All the details are perfect. And then part 7 was this huge downer for me, because it just felt so off. And Aaron, the artist behind this piece, he explained where he came from and why he made the choices he made. Didn't make it any better for me, sadly. It still did not jive at all for me. So that's why I decided to skip that particular part of the stitch along until the end. And then I will see how it looks once it's fully finished and adjust my piece accordingly. My piece will not have corners. I am undecided about the crown, but I will do something probably. I honestly like how the upper part looks right now, so I really have to think about it. I have, again, multiple ideas. I have charted my own crown. I have other ideas where the crown is not actually stitched. So I'm going to wait until the stitching part is finished. But I did finish part 8, which is quite the accomplishment, because it was another huge, huge part. Aaron and Cassandra said that the next few parts are going to be very high in stitch count, and it was. I did change something about it, because that color choice I found so weird um, in part 7 was back. He tied it all in, usually the rule of 3. If you put something on your artwork, make sure that you repeat it a couple of times at other points of the artwork, because that's making it for a very balanced and harmonious for your brain and eye. And he did that, but since I am not going to use the first and the second part of this, I didn't like it for the one that he dropped right now. I know I'm being very vague, but I don't want to to edit this video, and I'm not going to put any pictures in. Basically, what we stitched was the trident, and the trident had this super bright yellow again. So I switched out that yellow to a more golden yellow. It still on pictures looks pretty much like what he had originally charted. The tone is not too far off, but it is not this bright sun yellow. It's golden yellow. It's actually called golden yellow too. I think it's 728 or something like that. So that was the, in my opinion, better choice. It makes it a bit less comic-y and flat to me, because it has this very strange look. You know, the queen is very elaborate, and then some of her details are kind of simple, which I understand. It doesn't draw the eye away from the queen, who is the center of everything. But sometimes, I guess, some choices just don't make sense for me. And that was the case with the trident, so I fixed that. I'm going to fix the corals at the end too. Right now I have stitched them as they have been charted, but since they represent the frame of this Art Nouveau he was going for, I'm going to fix them once the rest is stitched. Once I see where everything else is, I can make a decision on how to fix them that they don't look so framey. Yeah, but that's where I am with that piece. Right now I am calling it caught up, because I at this point can't say what I'm going to do about part 7. We have 4 more parts to go before this stitch along is finished, and I think all the rest now is going to be tentacles and whatever is going on in front of her tentacles, and I'm kind of excited to see that, because there has to be something. There's so much special glittery floss, and there are beads and stuff, and I think there's going to be some surprises that you currently can't make out from this shadowy lines that he is showing. You can tell there are tentacles, but that's all you can tell, and I think there's going to be so much more. I kind of expect right now that the next 3 parts are going to be stitching, and the last part is going to be beading. Not entirely sure, but it would make sense to me, because the beading has to come at the end, and depending on how much it is, how elaborate it is, it qualifies to be its own part. Lola is staring at me, telling me, "Mom, I want on your lap. Why am I not on your lap yet? Come on, come on." Now she's on my lap. Sadly, I can't show you, but she's here. You can feel her presence. So yeah, that was my very long spiel about the Dark Queen. I still love the piece so much. I am so happy that I decided to join in and didn't back away from it in fear because of the size and how much it was to do it. It's a complicated piece with partial stitches and very fine back stitching and all this stuff, but it's actually doable. Don't be afraid. It is very doable. So I'm glad I did that. And I have bought a while ago, I have bought their geisha pattern, and I intend to do that one too. I think I finally found a piece of fabric that will match her perfectly. It's from Chromatic Alchemy. I haven't bought it yet, but I'm going to, because I think that one will be perfect. I have one from the Crafty Kitten I like, but I don't exactly love it. So I'm going to get that one too and see if I love it. And then after, well, actually before the Dark Queen, I also finished on the There's No Planet B part for April, which is the year-long stitch along by Cloud Factory, and that one is so stinking cute. I just adore it. I'm glad I decided to join in with that one. I'm not always on board with the charting of Cloud Factory, especially if people are involved. It sometimes looks kind of creepy. Um, but with the animals, they did a fantastic job. It looks amazing. It's so cute. So I'm always looking forward to that particular stitch along too. It's also not too elaborate, so usually we are talking, what is that little fly doing there? Annoying little bugger. Um, it's usually not taking me longer than a couple of sittings as well, depending. When it's a weekend, I can get it done in one day. When it's a weekday, I probably need two, but it's just the right amount to keep you occupied. Sorry for the interruption, but this was very important. It was cat nom noms. I had to take that. Cat nom noms have the highest priority in this house because you won't be happy if the cats are hungry. Yeah, the boyfriend is going to be so happy because he has to lug it all into the basement. I always buy two huge bags of cat kibble because it is just much cheaper that way. And I am not going to lug it up the stairs. I don't have the space in the apartment. So we usually put it in the basement. But it is a job for the man. I don't want to hurt myself. And there went the little fly, the annoying little bugger. Yeah, okay, so we were talking stitching. Like I said, I finished my two stitch alongs that drop at the beginning of the month, and I finished the secret project. And then I went on and started a new thing on Easter Monday, which was the Fox View, the stitch along I am doing with Jessie from Miss Late Pages and Rachel from Rachel Ray Crafts. And I think the girls started in November. I didn't join in because I had so much on my plate already that I was basically going insane and I didn't want to put anything on my plate. And then I never started it because the situation basically never changed. But I had a day of long weekend left and I decided, okay, let's let's get off your I can't do it horse and just pick a piece of fabric and start it, and I did. And it's a nice, very relaxing stitch. It is not too big. It took me until last Saturday to finish. I surprised Jessie and Rachel with it because I never told them I started it. And when I finished on Saturday, I went on Facebook where we have this group chat with the three of us and said, "Yes, so I did a thing I didn't tell you." And then I showed the completed Fox view. I never intended it that way, but somehow it happened. Yeah. So my first um, little animal stack is now finished, but I think I talked about this last year that I had plans to turn it into a sampler and do 9 total. So that's what I'm going to do. I put the fox view smack in the center. It is going to be the center of the 9-piece part, and I have to get the next pattern and floss as well. It is stitched with very fancy overdyed floss, and I noticed that a lot of the flosses are not repeated throughout the patterns, which is kind of annoying because this overdyed floss is a bit expensive-ish. But it's all right. I'm not going to buy everything all at once, so it should be fine. Just have to decide which one I'm going to do next. I'm going to move to um, the lower row next and do these 3 first, and then I am going to move up through the middle row and the top row. So that is my start and finish so far for April. That was last weekend until Saturday, and because I finished Foxview on Saturday, I thought, okay, you can have a new start now, and that would be my second new start for April, which is one of my Owl Forest kits. I've been collecting these kits for a while now. I have not unboxed all of them on my channel. These videos usually don't do too well. I know unstitching a cross-stitch kit is not very interesting either, so I decided not to do an unboxing for every single one. I don't want to annoy you with stuff that's not very interesting. Um, so I've been buying these kits because I love them all, but I have not started one in a while, and so I thought it was time. I picked up one of these kits belonging to the series I did Baba Yaga from. Um, I can't remember what his name is at the top of my head. I lovingly call him Fish Dude. It's the guy that is riding this this huge gray blue fish. And I started him on Sunday. I have only finished a little bit on him, and I am going to take him off the frame today actually because it's the 15th, and the 15th means that today the Cunning Cross Stitch Animal Crossing Stitch Along piece dropped, and it is, to my surprise, not Blathers. The way he dropped the characters so far, he started with Tom Nook, then he had Timmy and Tommy. I lovingly call them the Nooklings, and the third part was Orville. That is pretty much also how these characters appear in the game. I really thought next would be Blathers, but he decided to go with Gulliver. So it's going to be another bird. I have looked at it. He also showed the model stitch. I think I might do slight modification. It is too much of the same yellowish things going on there for me. Gulliver is this bird character that you find washed up at your beach regularly, and he is always shipwrecked, and then you search for his mobile phone parts, and he will give you a gift the next day that you can't buy in the game. So usually you find him unconscious on the beach, and that's how he is stitched, but his feet are very much the same color as the sand. It's maybe a couple of shades off. Not sure I like that as much as I should, so I'm not going to change the color of his feet, I think, but I'm going to change the color of the backstitch around them. It gets completely lost, so I'm not entirely sure what this is about. The picture looked weird, but on the other hand, I haven't had time yet to have a closer look at it, so I'm not going to fully judge it until work is over for today and I could actually have a look at it. So that is the next plan. Usually these Animal Crossing parts are very quick to stitch. I'm kind of expecting to finish that today. It is not a lot of stitching. The longest or the most time-consuming thing about them usually are the partial stitches, and I've seen there are a few of those, so yay, looking forward to that not. But I still think it should be finished today. And then Fish Dude is back on the frame. But I'm also right now back into diamond painting, so I've been working on My Will Is As Strong As Yours for the last few days. She is now, as of yesterday, halfway done. Um, and I am still trying my best to get this painting done this month because I really want to be done with her for May. Um, I know that a lot of people do multiple kits at the same time, but for me, it always is nagging at the back of my head if I have unfinished diamond paintings lying around and can't tell when I'm going to work on them next. My brain just doesn't like it. It's also the reason why I try to cap the amount of cross stitch whips I have. Um, because it feels very weird to me. If I mentally catalog my whips, I have now a couple at least I haven't stitched on for nearly a year, and that is just inconceivable to me. For example, I just recently pulled out the yoga corns once again and finished one of those, and then I realized I started them last year in May during Stitch Mania, but I also worked during Stitch Mania on my long dog sampler, and I realized I hadn't touched it since last May, which means nearly a year. And then I also started the Night Walk Down by the Blue Flower, and I know I put a few, like maybe 50 stitches in August, and then I never touched that again. So that's why I don't like to have so many whips. You lose sight of them, and if they are not your favorite, you don't touch them again for God knows how long. So that's why I try to cap how many whips I'm going to have. On the same time, I'm starting stitch along after stitch along after stitch along, cutting into my own stitching time. because then I want to finish my stitch alongs on time. And yeah, crazy brain, absolutely crazy brain. Yeah, but I think that's all the stitchy update. Yeah, that's pretty much all of it. I hope that was not a repeat. I do not remember what I was talking about last week. Of course I don't. That's just me. But that's what I've been up to crafty wise. Is there anything work related that would be fun to talk about? No, I don't think so. Not a whole lot has happened. I had my bi-weekly meeting with our CEO. He is disturbingly happy with my work. I know this is a weird thing to say, but I am the type of person who is always doubting herself. And also in the past, I have never worked directly with someone so high up in the hierarchy. So it's super strange to me to work with our CEO, get direct feedback from him, knowing he knows who I am, knowing he knows my face, and repeatedly having gotten praise from him. And yeah, that is just the strangest thing. My brain just won't compute. But I'm okay with it. It's a good surprise. It's better than the other way around. So yeah, I hope it will stay this way. I mean, some people in this company still astound me. I just had a call with one of my site managers, and he was, well, as far as I understood, the lease contract will run until next year, July. So we don't have that much time pressure, right? Excuse you? We've talked about this, and the deadline to close the second floor of your office is by August 1st this year, and then the costs will go on a restructuring budget and will not hit us on our cost center. What about this was so hard that you didn't understand that? So yeah, he's not thinking that the time frame is very tight. I am thinking, you are crazy. I have done more in less time. But yeah, he's also a very slow person. So yeah, looking forward to that. It will mean more talks with workers' councils. Fun times. Yeah, but that being said, nothing much happened at work that is actually worth talking about. So there's that. I have a question for you. I was wondering, I know multiple crafty creators have tried that, but I know that I've been talking about Animal Crossing quite a bit on this channel. You know, that is a game I play. It is actually the only game I play. Um, I don't have much brain power for games, video games in general. I like them, but usually if they take too much of my concentration, I can't do them for very long. So the only games I have played for a significant amount of time in the last 5 to 6 years, I would say, are the various iterations of Animal Crossing, and then a game for a Nintendo DS called Fantasy Life, which I found very entertaining. But I was wondering if Animal Crossing content would be something you would find interesting to see, because I've been thinking about I want to start a new island, and I would like to do a themed island, and I was wondering if anyone would be interested in seeing the process of that. There are plenty of creators on YouTube that do this kind of stuff. Um, so I guess it is just a repeat of things that have been here for over a year. But yeah, I'm basically asking you specifically, and the question really would be, would this be something for this channel, or would it be something for a side channel maybe? But then I don't know how much time I will actually invest in that, and if that would really make sense to have a side channel. It's this weird YouTube thing. If you put up content that your audience doesn't jive with and doesn't watch, it can really kill your analytics. And YouTube right now is very much back on the everything has to do well. If one of your videos does crappy, we are going to really hurt you train, which is not something that concerns me money wise. I don't make a whole lot with this channel. Like, I think last month it was like 18 euros, which was surprisingly high considering how little content I put out. But it seems like that a lot of people are watching old stuff as well, and that brings in the cents. So that's not what I'm worrying about, but they also will not recommend you as much and stuff like that. And I would like to have the content recommended because there are always people who are looking for new diamond painting and cross stitch content, and it would be sad to be killed just for having a little bit of fun on the side. So yeah, I was wondering if you would be interested, and I have two ideas I would like to do. One might sound a bit strange, but there's always a lot of talk about this one character. It's Pietro the Sheep. He's a clown sheep. And there is the faction that loves him to death, and there's the faction that thinks he's a serial killer. It actually gave me the idea. Why can't we do an island that is very cutesy serial killery? So all these characters that are for some reason kinda sus, put them on the island and create this spooky island somehow. It's not going to be easy because Animal Crossing is very bright and cutesy, and they also don't have, which is very sad. They used to have in the New Leaf game, which was the I think it was the one before going to the city. They had these very special fruit that made more money. It was your town fruit, but in a higher quality. But these trees only had fruit like 3 times. And the third time when you shook them, they lost all their leaves, looked like dead trees. And I wish we still had them because they would be perfect. Yeah, tangent, I know. Um, But like I said, I was wondering if you would be interested in something like that. I would love to put Pietro on that island. There are two bunnies that look very similar. One is pink with white dots and one is blue with white dots. And I thought they would make great companions for Pietro, the killer sheep, because it would be a bit of this. It's a mixture of Joker and Two-Face for me because Pietro obviously is a clown, so that makes him Joker. But Two-Face has, at least the Joel Schumacher version, has these two girlfriends. The one being the angel and the other one being that demonic BDSM leather girl. While both of these bunnies are cute, they reminded me of that. There's also a panda character that looks like it's going to bite your face off any minute. There is this one bear that is very sus, very sus. I think you shouldn't leave your children with him. And yeah, there is this cute dog that is actually a mummy. And I thought all these characters they could make a great spooky island. So that was the one idea, and the second idea is much tamer, much more mainstream. It would be something like a jungle core, have all these jungle characters, make the island look like a jungle thing. That was another idea I had. I just wanted to run this by you, get your thoughts. These would obviously be a bit like these WIP and Chat videos, play along videos, but if I do that, I still have to figure out how to actually record stuff like that. So I'm not that far yet. Just an idea. So looking at the clock, we have about 6 minutes left to wrap this up and say goodbye. Okay, that's surprising. I didn't think time would fly by this fast. Is there anything else I can talk about? Ooh, my neck is hurting. Not that you wanted to know that. Um, yeah, that's something I noticed recently in the last few days. I need to get more active, I think. I've been sitting a lot lately, and for the last few days I have this feeling in my left leg, especially on my thigh. It goes a bit like tingly and numb, like it's falling asleep, and that comes from my back. So I think I have to get more active and get more movement in because I am obviously pinching something in my back. I'm sorry, pinching something in my back that leads to see these symptoms. Um, it's a bit worrying, but that's the problem with sitting all day for work and then sitting all night for your hobbies. I have always been very prone to doing that. At the same time, I noticed I can't work standing up because that actually makes the tingling and the numbness worse. So I tried that. That is currently not working for me. So the plan now is to try and be a little more active after work and maybe get to a point where I can alternate between sitting and standing while working. Um, if I ever come to the point that I actually do the office consolidation here for my own office, I will have to make sure that I grab one of the um, height adjustable tables that we are going to throw away from that office because we have those and it makes a lot of sense to have one of those, especially when you get older. I didn't used to have any of these issues, but I'm noticing that the closer I come to 40, it's so sad. But I guess I finally have to admit to myself that I am no longer a 20-year-old girl, even if my brain tells me something different. Yeah, the symptoms get worse. And let me tell you, being in a relationship with a physical therapist gives you a lot of judgment. He is very judgy. But then he also knows me very well and he knows how non exercisey I am. I've never been. I love being a couch potato, but I have to get off that couch now. All right, guys. I think I covered pretty much everything and nothing at the same time. I know I keep saying I need to make a plan, like I need to take notes what I want to talk about in these WIP chats, and then I never do. But right now they just happen so spontaneously. I never plan ahead. That being said, I should have planned ahead from yesterday to today, but quite frankly, I didn't think I would do what I'm doing right now. I need to get better at planning ahead. Um, but that is basically it. Thank you for listening to me ramble for 50 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed listening to my voice. I am always so happy when one or two or even three, I think it was like 3 or 4 people on the last one, um, tell me that they find my voice soothing because I don't. I have mentioned that before, and I'm always happy when other people think differently. Girl, talk slower. Don't mangle your words. So, yeah, thank you very much. As far as videos go, I am currently also working my way through my old footage on my hard drive, all the unboxings I filmed, the final reviews. I have a few final reviews I have not filmed yet, like I think I have filmed the final review for All Dogs Go to Heaven, which was my DP theme of the month for January, but I have not filmed the one for this painting. I think I have to check. And then I also have to film the one for Nefertiti because I finished her, and I hope by the end of this month my will is as strong as yours will be finished too. I think for the next WIP Chat I am going to do a kit up with me video because I want to kit up the next DP theme of the month soonish. And that would be, I think, a great opportunity to have another chat with you. But for that one, I shall make notes what I want to talk about. So I don't forget while talking about the one thing what I wanted to talk about next. That's my biggest issue. I have these plans and things I want to talk about and I don't write them down, and then I'm talking about something that leads me into a tangent and then I have forgotten what it was I wanted to talk about. Anyway, last 30 seconds. I would like to say once again, thank you so much for joining me, for listening to me. I hope you had fun. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I'll try my very, very best to be back as soon as possible, probably on Monday, because I really want to challenge myself and film a floss tube. That could be up tomorrow. Who knows? Bye, guys.